Hey y'all out there in YouTube land. You know, me and Tommy C, we was raised out in the country, but we did get to the city every now and again. Like the time I went with an ex-boyfriend of mine up to New York City to visit his dad. His dad was one of those big executive types that worked up there in the World Trade Center, and I wanted to make a real good impression on him. So my boyfriend had told him that I was half Asian. Well, you know, people can say the dumbest things to you, like, so, you're half Asian. Kind of like, you know you're a redneck when, so, you know you're half Asian when one of your parents is Asian and one of them isn't. Well, anyway, we get up there, and since I was half Asian, he wanted to take us to this real nice Asian restaurant. It was called Benihana's. I guess it was all Asian because it otherwise would have been called Benny Halves. But anyway, we get up there, and this hostess, when we walk in, she looks at them, and she looks at me, and she says something to me that I just couldn't understand. So I'm still trying to make a good impression, you know. And the only foreign thing that came to my mind to say was, no comprende. Well, she looked a little confused, but she went ahead and took us to this table, and she seated us with all these people that we didn't even know. And right in the middle of that table was this big metal thing. Well, I whispered to my boyfriend, "What is that?" He said, "That's a wok." Well, you know, when Tommy C was little, he had this real cute speech impediment, and all I could think about was when he would throw a wok at a wabbit. Didn't match in my mind. But anyway, the waiter took our order, and in the meantime, I had to go to the restroom. So I'm walking across the restaurant, and this man over at this other table waves to me. So I'm thinking, well, maybe he knows who I am, so I'll walk over there, and he says, "Would you bring me a glass of water, please?" Well, you know, like us Southern hospitality people, we do what people ask. You know, it's just polite to bring something back when you go to the kitchen. So I says, "Well, sure, I'll bring you a glass of water." So I get in the bathroom, and I look around, and there wasn't no water glasses in there at all. So I'm thinking, kind of relieved, because I had already drank some of that water they brought to my table. So I get back, and this man, he's standing there just cooking. He's throwing them knives around. It's just this spectacular show. I had never seen nothing quite like that before. Excepting for that time that Possum got in our kitchen, Tommy C and Uncle Claude. Gosh, there was just knives and brooms flying everywhere. You know, we was poor, but we did have a good Thanksgiving dinner that year. Well, anyway, the cook gets through fixing all our food, and he's putting it on our plates. And I'm pretty comfortable. I'm thinking everything's okay. My boyfriend's dad kind of likes me. He's being real nice. So everything's going just as smooth, so I reach down for my forks, and all I could find was these little stick things. Well, I look around at all those Americans sitting beside me, and they're just eating away with those things. So I just think, well, maybe I can do this. But let me tell you, eating with those things, it is not an inherited talent by any means. After several failed attempts, I just gave up. I looked at that cook and I said, "Sir, excuse me, but do y'all have any forks in this fine eating establishment?" Well, I looked over at my boyfriend's dad, and he looks like he could just slide right under that table. Well, I guess I must have broke some kind of etiquette rule, because I never did get invited back to New York City.